Welcome in here to WHF Tier 2 Round 4. You're joined by me, WHF Faro, as we head to Mexico for what is to be an exciting Tier 2 race. We've got 18 drivers with us today, also joined by SSR Zampa, who's been able to make it today, and looking forward to see what can happen in this one. And welcome into the chat, Scones and the Lanky One. Welcome in, everyone. Hope everyone's doing okay. Dubsy in the Discord says SSR slash WHF. WHF has had some eventful turn ones here at Mexico in the past, and for definite we have. So definitely going to be an exciting one. We're going to go along with Zampa on his first run here to see what he can do in the Mercedes. And currently, as it stands in the standings, Kevin Kell in the Alpine leads the championship with 72 points. He's 14 points ahead of Michael Louis, who ended up winning last time out in Spain. Beat Coldzilla. Coldzilla won on track at the line, very marginally, but unfortunately for Cod, a track limits time penalty would ultimately cost him the win in the end. But I'm sure we'll be able to see Cod back up there very, very shortly. But Zampa so far has made it look like a very comfortable lap on this run. Very good banker as it stands, just needs to keep it valid through the final section, very tight section here in Mexico. And I think Zampa's put a very good lap time on the board for himself at 15.5 for Zampa. Next it'll be Forward Journey goes half a tenth quicker. We do have Dobo here, we have Stephen Beecham, one of the newcomers. He's just starting a lap, so I do think it will be Dobo. Although we do have Ty Clear coming up the line next. Ty Clear is invalid, so it will be Dobo next to set a lap here in the Red Bull. Cthulhu also within the same 10th as Forward Journey. Dobo goes a lot quicker though, a 15.1, really leaving not much to be desired. Meanwhile, Arn goes up to P2, but Dobo clearly ahead of the rest of the field as it stands so far. Womomax has gone invalid on that lap. We've got Kevin Cal with a 14.7 blistering lap there from the Alpine driver. Meanwhile, we've Stephen Beecham in the RB car. Looking forward to seeing what he can do here as he rounds the final corner. What lap time can Stephen do as he loses the rear end? And needs to try and rejoin here without getting disqualified. Yeesh. Don't get disqualified, Stephen, please. Thank the Lord Stephen is still with us, didn't get disqualified. A lot of times if you block the pit entry, it'll disqualify you. Meanwhile, Ty out on the mediums, so he's going to set a banker this time. And it's a 15.9, not a bad lap on the mediums. We've got Michael Louis, who got pole last time, will stay along with the Williams driver as he goes through this first tight section. The Williams can Michael Louis pip Kevin again for pole. Michael picked up his first win in WHF last time out in Spain. And can he keep up that form? We will see. Looking a very comfortable lap at the moment. But by no means is he being comfortable in the cockpit. He is throwing it into every corner, leaving nothing, no margin Is Michael Louis here? Can Michael pip Kevin? Is what we're here to see. Well, Kevin, or Michael now rounds the final corner. Can we see a championship battle start to unfold between Michael and Kevin? Michael's gone 2/10 shy of Kevin, or closer to a 10th and a half, to be honest. But could we start to see Michael and Kevin as Jimmy Dwyer starting his lap on the mediums? The Ferraris have gone for the mediums on their first run for some reason. Meanwhile, we've got Sci-Fi Mega Hype next around in the Mercedes. But we could start to see a championship battle unfold between Kevin Cal and Michael Louis, as the Mercedes of Sci-Fi Mega Hype is next around across the line. Where's he going to go? Jumps to P10, that is. Meanwhile, Cree, I think he is just on an extra outlap. I think he didn't get the run he wanted, but we've got a very busy middle sector here. A lot of cars on top of each other. But anyway, anyone on a lap? We got Vintage Control. The Japanese driver, what can he do? He might be on an end lap as well. We've got Jimmy Dwyer. And Cthulhu's on a lap. He's just starting one. See anyone else notable on a lap? Scones is invalid. Stephen Beecham starting a lap. We've got Womack starting a lap. Codzilla's on a lap here. Forward Journey just started a lap as well. So I do believe Cthulhu is next around here. Codzilla into the apex beautifully. But I think we're going to jump up to Cthulhu. Cthulhu is just behind Codzilla, so Codzilla will be the next around on a lap. Codzilla also has a chance at a championship here in Tier 2 WHF. Currently sets P3 in the championship. Last time out he lost the win due to a time penalty with a collision with Michael Louis. And I'm sure he'll want to avenge that loss. Welcome in, Rio. Yeah, you can join me for comms if you want. I'll join the Discord comms chat. And if you want to join, I will get you an invite as well to the lobby, hopefully. But Codzilla crossing the line now. Goes to P7. We've got a lot of drivers coming in. That was Cthulhu up to P3. Brilliant lap from the Aston Martin driver as Womack's gone second. Brilliant lap from the Aston Martin. 14.8 for the Aston Martin. As Stephen Beecham finally sets a banker down, but I think he wants to go for an extra run now. Rio Harris says Williams 1-2, which means somehow Michael Louis and Scollins are going to have to pull out of something. Welcome in, or welcome into the stream. I don't know how they're going to be able to do that, but here we're rooting for them. Anyway, Kevin around on another lap here in the Alpine. We'll stay with him, and after Kevin finishes his lap, we'll try and get Rio in if we can into the comms box. And Kevin now absolutely on the limit through this final sector. And Kevin now, as he rounds the final corner, can he improve his lap time? He does very marginally. 100th in that lap time. We'll see, can I get Rio in? I'll see if I can get anyone in the Discord to invite Rio. Rio, do you... there's an EA glitch, so I can't even really invite you if you don't come up for me, Rio, because I have you added. But there's an EA glitch you can see that you don't even come up unless you're way down here somewhere. Still not there. Rio, what is your EA? This will make it quicker so I can just find your name. Because if your EA is not Rio, then I cannot find you. You'd think they'd add like a search bar to this just to search who you're looking for. Be way quicker. Is that Rio? No, not Rio. Rio, what is your EA? Yeah, we're not gonna get it. Anyway, what have we missed? We've got Michael Louis starting a lap. We've got Ty Clear and Dobo on laps now as well. We've got Stephen Beecham, who did improve up to P12. Scones as well here. Pulling past him. Arn starting a lap now. I think the next to finish a lap should be Ty Clear. Unless Dobo's ahead of him. Yeah, Dobo is marginally ahead of him. So Dobo will be next to complete a lap. Needs 4/10 to get past Kevin. And Dobo now, I think he's gone invalid, so won't be improving. Meanwhile, we do have Ty Clear, also invalid, so won't be improving. Michael Louis, also invalid. Move down to the Haas of Arn. As I think Vintage Control is going to come round on a lap now. Well, he's gone very deep on these medium tyres. Surely not going to help his run. And we'll go on board with Arn, and then I can... Arn doesn't seem to be pushing a lap here, so I'm going to try and find Rio again. Russ. I do not see a Russ. God, this is so long. Ross, here we are. Right, Rio, you finally got an invite to the game. If you want to join the Discord as well, the comms chat. Anyway, we're on board with Arn, and I think Michael Louis is going for an extra lap here, though he's a second down, so not improving. Ty Clear's in, Rio Harris has joined. We'll see when Rio joins the comms box. Anyway, we've got Dubsy on a lap here as well. Creed Cree's much further on a lap though here. And currently as it stands, Kevin's got a comfortable pole. He's only half a tenth though ahead of Wawa Max. Rio? Rio... I'm right. I need to fix something I can see. Hello, Rio?
Hello?
I can hear you now.
There we go.
So recently...
for the stream.
Recently, I did an update for my PC last night. Whenever you do a PC update, what it does is it resets all your settings. Which is really, really delightful.
Lovely.
It's exactly what you want. Anyway, now...
Anyway, you're right.
Now Discord is a bit fucked, but alright, I'll just leave it. Anyway, you've got Jimmy Dwyer coming around on a lap. And Jimmy crosses the line. Don't think he improves though. Is he finally on the softs? He at least is on the softs. Kevin's invalid on his run, where he was a tenth to the good. Meanwhile, we do have Arn, who had improved to P4. Dobo starting a lap now. Cthulhu's not improving, so he's going to come in. But Scones on a lap now, losing the rear through the middle sector.
Kevin was improving on this lap, but he had invalidated, I think, in the Essence and Sector 2 as well.
Rio, you're having a bit of bother with your mic. Could you, like, try and unplug it and then plug it in again? Meanwhile, Jamie's not improving. Jamie does have a car behind him, though, that's Forward Journey on a lap. Forward Journey only did one race with us so far this season. He finished P2 in Bahrain. And Jimmy's just going to get out of the way of Rio. Meanwhile, we have Stephen Beecham in the V-Carb around next. Let's see what he can do as he heads through Sector 1. Takes those first 3 corners beautifully. There is the tight middle sector, which is one of the trickiest sections on the calendar.
Is that helped at all?
I think it's there a little bit. What I'd do is I'd mute your mic when you're not talking, if you could.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. And that should help it. Because it's just whenever you're not making any noise, there's some, like, noise in the background. Anyway.
Yeah, this mic is 7 years old.
Yeah, believe me, I have such an expensive microphone to avoid those issues. But probably has spent way more. Meanwhile, Cthulhu has retired in the pit lane. I wonder, was he out of tyres and that's why he's retired. Meanwhile, Stephen Beecham crosses the line. Big improvement from him. 1.1 improvement. Stephen Beecham now up to P8. Lovely improvement from the V-Carb driver. Meanwhile, Forward Journey is 2/10 to the good now. What can Forward Journey do? Forward Journey in Bahrain didn't qualify all that great, but then he had amazing race pace. And we may see the same thing again. He may not qualify so high as you would like to think. Crosses the line though, and he's up to P6, so not that far off. Meanwhile, Jimmy Dwyer, I think, crossed the line there. We've got the lanky one crossing the line. Moves to P11. Scones on an in lap. Who else do we have out there? Sci-Fi Mega Hype coming in. We have the Haas of Cree out in a lap. There's a McLaren of Codzilla and Dubsy starting a lap.
400s up in the first sector. They come to the end of the middle sector. Sorry to interrupt.
We'll stay with
the middle
them.
sector. He lost the 10th and a bit.
Yeah,
must have had a little bit wide moment.
Yeah, the checkered flag.
Stadium section.
The checkered flag has fallen now, so Kevin and Wowo Max have set their final laps as Michael Louis skating the rear through the final sector. Does he have enough in this Williams to improve on his position? I don't think so. He lost all the time in that final sector. Meanwhile, Ty clears 2/10 to the good here as he heads into this final stadium section. And I think he may have the Haas of Orn or Cree ahead of him. We'll see who crosses the line first. I think it is Cree. Ty clear though crosses the line, and it's pole for the Ferrari driver. What a lap it is from Ty Clear. Beautiful lap. Meanwhile, Orn is off in the wall in the middle sector. Don't know what happened to him there. Codzilla, who finished first on track last time out in Spain, only qualifies as good as P12. Meanwhile, he's got his teammate of Dub Z, who'll be next across the line. But a dramatic qualifying here, and Dub Z crosses the line now, doesn't improve on position. Meanwhile, do we have anyone else going on a quick lap? I don't believe so. Orn's going to cross the line a lot slower than you would expect. And Dobo as well will be the last to cross the line. But an amazing lap there from Ty Clear. Ty Clear 6 thousandths ahead of Kevin Cal. And what a lap it was from the Ferrari driver. He had a chance to win in Australia. And unfortunately crashed out. But hopefully this could be the opportunity for Ty Clear to get some good points and maybe even a win. But look how close that top 4 is. Everyone inside almost half a tenth. Very close here in Tier 2. But Rio, you did join late there, but what did you think of what you saw there when you did join?
Well, they're actually quite very good. It's nice to see 6 different teams within the top 6. So no, I don't think you can say one driver's going to win if the top 4 are split by 54 milliseconds.
Yeah, it's insanely close and a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought Michael Louis may even go for a 3rd pole in a row, but Michael Louis ended up qualifying down in, what was it, P5?
Yeah, I think it was either 5th or 6th. I'll check it now. It is P5.
And Lanky One says that's really close to that, and it is really close to that.
I'll ask you this week. Who do you think's going to win?
I'm not sure, because there's it's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to root for Ty, my teammate from last season. I'm going to root for Ty. He unfortunately crashed out in Australia. He had a great chance to win in Australia, and hopefully he can come back from that and win from pole. But there is the top 4 separated by half a tenth, so really it could go anywhere. Pretty much anyone inside the top 10, I'd say, could win, depending on race pace, because they're all relatively close on race pace. So very much looking forward to this. I think the favourite is probably always Kevin Cal, who leads the championship. But Rio, who do you think's going to win yourself?
Well, in the Twitch chat earlier, I did some points, and I put a bold prediction for a Williams 1-2. So I'm going to put Michael Louis wins and Scones in second.
Well, I think Michael Louis winning isn't that far-fetched, given that he won last time out in Spain. We've had an early ready up, but we'll just keep going. We'll find out, I'm sure, in the stewards who readied up early. But hopefully we get everyone going so that there's no restart here early. As there's 5 red lights on, and they're out and we're away in Mexico. Everyone seems to have left. As there's a bit of wheel banging at the back with the Mercedes involved, and Kevin straight away into the lead. Meanwhile, the Lanky One on the inside now of Ty Clear as they send it into turn 1, keeping it clean together. Kevin with a mega start, and Kevin now going to try and escape down the road with a yellow flag around. It's Jimmy Dwyer at the back. Jimmy Dwyer has had some sort of spin. Meanwhile, Michael Louis on the inside of Womax into turn 4. Womax keeps that place as Zampa battling with Arn gets ahead now. Forward Journey on the back of this battle as well. As Cree and Scones go side by side. Scones is up to P12. Get on, Scones. Let's go. What a start for Scones and the Williams. The 1-2 Williams is on, Rio.
It's quite a good start from Scones as we make our way towards the end of the second sector. Womax is very close, tucked up behind the Lanky One in the Sauber, making our way into the stadium section. It made me think of a move into the hairpin left.
What happened there? So Zampa went deep, cut the corner, he gave up the position to Arn, and then Arn sent it far too deep and hit someone. Oh, as there's 2 cars around, the Haas of Cree and Stephen Beecham in the V car, both around, and they're both to the back after a side-by-side contact between them two. Meanwhile, Ty Clear.
He's going for the lead. Round the outside turn 1, he gets ahead of Kevin Cal, and now through turn 2 and 3. Womax is now looking on the inside of turn number 3. And now to get the power down as you go down the straight towards turn number 4. The Lanky One using a bit of battery to maybe keep ahead of the Aston Martin. There's Michael Louise just going to have to sit behind him. Maybe it's switched to the inside. Now around the outside goes Michael Louise of the Aston Martin. Down the inside.
Big contact.
As Michael Louise does go. So now Cthulhu might make the move through the ghosted Williams. Now on the power towards the essence of Sector 2. Michael Louise is just going to keep ahead of Cthulhu.
Yeah. A lot of contact there through the first sector, and that has allowed the top 2 of Kevin Cal and Ty Clear to drop the rest of the field. They're already creating their own train of their own, unless Womax can use the pace with the DRS on the back of Lanky One to catch back up inside that train again. Otherwise, the top 2 will start to have a race of their own here. But Ty Clear sets the fastest lap. Kevin with the DRS will head up after him. Michael Louis now seems to have a rocket ship on the back of this Williams as he looks on the back of Womax as, again, in the battle for the lead. Kevin on the back of Ty Clear doesn't go for the move, but Womax sends it on the inside of the Lanky One. And Michael Louis just staying patient in this battle. But these drivers got to work together to try and catch the top 2. Them just battling is a bit silly at this stage. They need to work together to stay with the top 2, otherwise they're all settling for P3 here. And as it stands, that delta starts to build between Kevin and Ty Clear. Meanwhile, I'll have a look at the tyres to see what everyone started on, as Zampa makes the move on Arn, battling here in the middle sector. And Arn in the Haas looking for way back through. Cthulhu picks up the first time penalty of the evening. Womax is not that far removed from the DRS of Kevin. He may have picked up a warning though, trying to get inside the DRS there. Meanwhile, there's a car around of Arn. Arn's made some sort of error. And Arn now down to P11 as Womack sets the fastest lap. There's a car already in. It's Coldzilla. Coldzilla has damage. I wonder, was that a coming together with Arn potentially earlier in the race? Meanwhile, Womax does have the DRS open, but he's still not close enough to make a move. Kevin Cal now on the rear of Ty, looking for a move here, if he can get it. But we've now, the status quo has resumed, with now everyone inside the top 8 within DRS, with Womax getting back inside the top 2 train. But a mega start from many of the drivers here. And none more than Scones. Scones, what a start it's been for the Williams driver. Up to P12. We'll have a look at the position changes to see who else has improved massively. Oh, Scones almost loses the rear. And Cthulhu's the biggest gainer, as in the battle for the lead, the lanky one. Oh, Ty clears around again! Ty clears around again, and there seems to be damage for the Ferrari driver. And Ty, after leading the race from pole, is down to P13. Absolute heartbreak for Ty Clear, potentially coming together with Kevin and the lanky one as well, who seemed to be involved.
That debris is actually from the Aston Martin of Woodman. He's lost both his end plates, so that's going to be a major loss of downforce in these type of turns. So he could most likely, he'll get a benefit in the straight, but in the corners it's just going to be a massive pain for the Aston Martin.
Yeah, if I'm Womax here, I am ceding the position to Cthulhu, my teammate, to let him through. Otherwise, Womax will start to hold up his teammate. But considering he has both end plates missing, he is doing very well to stay comfortably with his train. But how long will that last as the tyre wear sets in? We will see. But Kevin continues to lead this race following the incident from Ty Clear. I wonder, was Womax involved in that contact with Ty Clear? We'll have to see what the stewards say after the race. Meanwhile, Scones picks up a time penalty. Cthulhu had picked up an additional time penalty now with Dobo on the inside of Cthulhu. There's another yellow flag out, and it's Arn again. Arn in the wall again. The Haas driver really struggling here. And he may have Jimmy Dwyer for company. But Arn keeps the position. Meanwhile, Womax all over the rear of Michael Louis now, despite that damage. We may even see the lanky one take the lead now. And the lanky one in the Sauber takes the lead here on lap 6 as Michael Louis now on the outside of Kevin. Womax on the inside. There's contact. There's a sandwich. In the 3-wide moment, Womax somehow with the damage gets through on the inside of Kevin. Kevin now losing 2 positions as Zampa picks up a time penalty when battling with Dobo. But all of this battling may have helped the lanky one escape the train. We'll see. Does he have the pace to leave Michael Louis in the dust? Meanwhile, Womax is still doing very well to stay with this lead pack. But has the lanky one built the gap that he needs? Currently, as it stands, Michael Louis is out of DRS. Womax now is out of DRS from Michael Louis, and with that damage, it may be hard to recover. If I'm Womax, I'm coming in this lap and fixing the front wing, getting hards on, because I think that's realistically all he can do this race. He's just going to lose massive amounts of time with that missing front wing. Meanwhile, there's another yellow flag out again. It might be Arn again causing that yellow flag as Zampa picks up a second time penalty already. But Kevin now has DRS on Womax, and he's got to make a move pretty swiftly here, otherwise he's going to lose loads of time. Stuck behind the Aston Martin driver. As Womax goes defensive into turn 1, which is going to compromise their exit again and lose even more time to that lead train. But can Kevin get through it all here? Meanwhile, the lanky one under pressure from Michael Louis. Michael Louis so close behind him, but unable to get a move. But despite Womack's damage, he's not being dropped that quickly. Although, as I say that, he makes a big error out of turn 5. Skating the rear through the corner. And it may be a matter of time whether Kevin can get this position. Meanwhile, Cthulhu seems to make an error as well. Big error through the S's. Loses 2 positions for his trouble. With Dobo now up into P5. With Zampa in P6 joining him. As we head now on to lap 8. Michael Louis now, who won last time out in Spain, sees an opportunity for another win here. As with the DRS opened, he'll be able to catch the Sauber of the lanky one ahead of him. But if I'm Michael Louis and the lanky one, I'm working together just to disappear from the drivers behind. And then we can battle later in the race as it comes down to crunch time. Meanwhile, Kevin, all over the rear of Womack. Kevin's dropped the Dobo out of DRS. Can Kevin get ahead of Womack soon? Womack seems to have great straight line speed here. Kevin unable to close on him. Despite having a lot more downforce with his wings intact. But Womack's now still holding on to P3. Meanwhile, we see Godzilla, who was in early to fix damage. There's more damage as there's a coming together of Sci-Fi Mega Hype and Vintage Control with Godzilla. And it seemed like another 3-wide moment into turn 1 that was just not meant to be. And it's damage for Sci-Fi Mega Hype as Vintage Control gets spun off into the grass. The Japanese driver going to look to recover. Meanwhile, Stephen Beecham all over the rear of Cree here. As Cree has a big wobble on the hards here. Another big wobble on the hards. Stephen Beecham has to really ease off the throttle to not get caught up in a massive calamity there. Meanwhile, Michael Louis retakes the lead again as Dubsy battling with Cthulhu. Dubsy's going to get through.
Sorry to interrupt. Kevin Calcis just rear-ended Wilmer X. It was a very late move from the Aston Martin. And I think the Aston Martin might have hit the wall again on the inside before turn 1. He's now been overtaken by the Alpine and Red Bull. It was a very late move down towards turn 1 from the Aston Martin, and Kevin was originally going to the inside, and the Aston then moved very late, and it was just I think.
Can you clip it?
Very late. I can try, yes.
Yeah. We'll see what the stewards say. We missed it on the broadcast, but we'll see what the stewards say. Following that incident, seems to be a coming together with Kevin and Womack. Womack's out there still with damage, still doing pretty well despite his damage. But I think surely Womack is going to think about coming in shortly. As there's another yellow flag out, there's a safety car and Ty Clear in the wall. Ty Clear making another mistake and has a missing front wing completely. Who is going to come in though? Everyone.
The safety car's ahead of the top 2.
Yeah, the top two have missed. Places. The top 2 in the lanky one and Michael Louis, who had gapped the rest of the field, have now unfortunately got caught up by the safety car, which means they'll be unable to pit onto the safety car, which essentially gives Kevin a net P1. And Kevin currently...
Womack hasn't changed his front wing.
Oh, Womack's probably... If I were him, I would go in again to fix that front wing. Meanwhile, Stephen Beecham picks up a 10-second time penalty. And Ty Clear leaves the box now with a new front wing as well. Forward Journey going to get a new front wing as well. But the lanky one of Michael Louis... If I were them, I would just stay out. They have Dubsy behind them. Maybe Dubsy and they've Jimmy Dwyer behind them as well. Maybe those drivers can help them build a gap to Kevin and the like behind, so that whenever they do pit, they have less to do. But as it stands, I don't think they would gain a lot from pitting now, with the safety car holding them up for an entire lap there. It couldn't have been worse timed for the lanky one of Michael Louis, that safety car. They were already past the pit entry. Meanwhile, down at the back here we see Cthulhu and Zampa swap positions, but I think that was just a mistake. Cthulhu gives the position back to Zampa, but and Michael Louis is going to come in. Michael Louis has been disqualified. He overtook the safety car, and Michael Louis is out of the race. So disappointing.
Well, there goes my prediction.
Yeah, Michael Louis overtook the safety car, and the game does not like when you do that, and Michael Louis has been disqualified. And very unfortunate for Michael, who won last time out in Spain, and now it's all gone to... It's now gone. And Michael Louis, who was mounting a title charge, he's going to lose a lot of points here. If Kevin finishes the race at all, he's going to lose points to the whole field now with that disqualification. And very disappointing for Michael Louis. Had an opportunity to win here. And under this safety car that was really ill-timed, he's also overtaken the safety car coming into the pit lane.
I am just rewatching the clip between Kevin and Womax. Kevin originally goes to the inside, and then it's the Aston Martin. It's like he's looked at it, it's like look behind him, and he's panicked, and he's seen the Alpine's already going to easily overtake him. So it's a really late move. You can't blame Kevin. That if you had to give a penalty, it would be to the Aston Martin, without a doubt, and that then allows Kevin to easily get through and then double around the outside of turn number 3.
But I'm chatting with Michael Louis in the Discord chat, and he is inconsolable. Very, very annoyed by that disqualification. It is quite unfair. I think the annoying thing is he immediately was given a disqualification and a 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. If I were as Coldzilla's going to come in again, I wonder is Coldzilla going to come on? He's going to try mediums to the end now. This is going to be a tough stint to pull. But I think he'd already did a stint on the hards. But very unfortunate for Michael Louis, though. Now I've forgotten what thought I was on. What was I saying before Coldzilla came in?
You was on about how you was talking to Michael Louis in the Discord.
Well, Michael Louis, unfortunately, after he overtook... Oh yeah, I was saying he did get a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags, which I think is fair if you overtake the safety car trying to come into the pit lane. Like, if you got a 10-second for that, I'd be like, that's understandable. But the annoying thing is that it disqualifies you so quickly. Like, the game doesn't even give you, like, 5 seconds.
It gives you, like, 2 seconds.
It gives you no time at all, and then immediately disqualifies you. So I feel like if you do overtake the safety car, it should be just in that scenario where you overtake the safety car, you're coming into the pit lane, that's a 10-second time penalty. But like the fact that that's just an immediate disqualification and you can't even remove that from the game is quite annoying. And it's annoying because as soon as it happened, I knew exactly why it had happened. But it's been a thing in the game for quite some time. I wouldn't even say it's a new thing in the game, Rio. It's been a thing for a couple of games now that overtaking the safety car gets you disqualification.
I knew it's been in the game, but it's normally never that quick. It used to be on F1 22. I remember only being like 5 seconds compared to how quick it was then.
Yeah.
But we're ready to go racing again, and I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, we've gone green flag racing. The lanky one's going to lead us away on these top 3, all on used tyres. But we've got Kevin Cal, who's got a net P1 from the drivers who have pitted. Where can Kevin end up on this restart? He's all over the rear of Jamie Dwyer, but Jamie Dwyer's going to keep it ahead of Kevin through turn 1. Meanwhile, Scollins is battling with Sci-Fi and Mega Hype. Scollins, can he get up the positions as there's contact, and Arn's got damage here, missing a front right, or front left end plate it is, for Scollins. He's going, or for Arn, as forward journey now on the inside of Arn, as they have more contact, almost a spin from both of them. Gonna try and keep it clean together as Cree has ghosted with some contact from behind, it seems. Meanwhile, WoMX battling with Zampa. As WoMX leaves the track now, Kevin Cal has got ahead of Jimmy Dwyer. And if I'm Dobo, he's going to immediately get past Jimmy Dwyer as soon as possible because he can't allow a one forward journey's out. That might be another safety car, and it is. 10-second time penalty for Coldzilla. And both the Haas and the McLaren missing front wings entirely. Massive contact in the middle sector. Forward journey, who was second in round 1, is out of this race. And another safety car that has helped the lanky one and Jimmy Dwyer here. But gutting for forward journey. We've missed what happened in there. But in the middle sector, there seemed to be a big coming together. Coldzilla, Arn, and forward journey, all with major damage. But this has been a hectic race so far. And Coldzilla and Arn, what tires do they have to go on to? Arn on the softs, which are not going to go any distance at all. Coldzilla has gone on to hards that he's already used. That's the kind of situation that these drivers are in already this early in the race, that they already have so much used tires. Meanwhile, Dubsy is going to stay out and lead us away again. Dubsy is kind of hoping to stay out to lap 20 before coming in, realistically. So none of these safety cars have helped Dubsy, who started on the hards.
It has surprised me that the Mercedes in P9 Sci-Fi has stayed out. He's on the mediums he started the race on.
Yeah, and I think he also has damage as well as Cree. Both of them should go in for hards and get their front wings changed. That's just what would help them the best in this race. But we'll see, do they come in? As Sci-Fi Mega Hype almost runs into the back of Scones as Cree has to avoid him there. We'll see, do either driver come into the pit lane to fix that damage and put on hards? We'll see. Cree looks like he is coming in. Cree in to fix the damage, hopefully, and put some hards on. Hopefully, he has told his pit crew to fix that front wing. Otherwise, they don't do it, which I don't understand why they don't do it. I feel like they should do it more than they do. But thankfully, Cree has told his pit crew to fix his front wing. And he's got fresh hards as well, so Cree should comfortably go to the end of this race. And Cree currently, as it stands, has the best tyres in the field. So, although it's not ideal, Cree being P16, that safety car now actually has somewhat benefited him here, as he's now on probably the best strategy in the field as it stands, although I'm sure he'd rather be in Kevin's position, who's only on 5-lap old hards, and being P2 in this race behind Dubsy, who's yet to pit. But if I'm Sci-Fi Mega Hype, I probably, at this stage, would still pit. Unless the safety car call-in message comes out this lap, I'd probably still pit. Just go to the back of the field, have hards, and get the damage fixed. But a chaotic race so far. Two of our big contenders in forward journey and Michael Louis are out of this one. And Stephen Beecham picks up a 10-second time penalty with a coming together with Sci-Fi Mega Hype. And I don't know what's happening there.
Before we restart, I'm just going to run you through the penalties. Zampa in P5 on 6 second, Cthulhu 9 second, Scones 3 second, Sci-Fi 3 seconds, Stephen has got 20 seconds, Jamie's got 3, and then Vintage has got 10.
Vintage just picked up a 10 there, getting, I think, an illegal overtake on someone. I think Aaron's got an illegal overtake on Vintage. There's absolute chaos at the back with all of the illegal overtakes. Look at the gap from Coldzilla. Look in the final sector there. It's just chaos with all of the illegal overtake messages they're getting. This is awful. This is so awful that the game makes you do this. And Stephen Beecham's in probably to get rid of that time penalty and maybe damage as well. And Coldzilla had to let through Vintage control again because of that possible illegal overtake. He may lose out to Arn as well on the soft tyres, but you can already see, because of that chaos, they're already 14 seconds, 15 seconds off that lead train on the same lap of the safety car restart. What is that glitch? Dear Lord. Meanwhile, Kevin trying to catch Dubsy. The lanky one makes his way through on Sci-Fi Mega Hype, but the lanky one is on good tyres now, but he's now 2.5 seconds off the lead train. So he's going to have to try and get caught up again as Cthulhu picks up another time penalty. Cthulhu on a lot of time penalties here early on, as Kevin out of the final corner going to get past Dubsy relatively quickly. But who is the DRS here? I think it might be Dubsy. Dubsy, why is neither of them opening the rear wing?
It's not been enabled. It's enabled this lap.
Oh, it's just enabled, so none of them will have
Yeah.
DRS. Meanwhile, Womax into turn 1. Kevin goes extremely deep, as Dobo trying to find a way through. Womax now make it through. Despite his damage and time penalties, Womax here is still contending. And Womax now trying to skate it around the outside of Kevin, as Dobo trying to get around the outside of Womax. Brilliant battling here in the midfield, as Dobo might get through on the Aston driver, and he does. Zampa now on the rear of the Aston. And Zampa, hopefully he's listening, should be aware of how much damage that Aston has, and somehow is still driving at a relatively good pace. Meanwhile, it seems the battle for the win is between Dobo and Kevin Kell here, as they're the only drivers in this top pack without penalties. Dubsy still yet to pit here as well. Ty Clear, who did start the race from pole though, down in P7, could still have a chance at winning here, but he's going to have to make up some ground relatively quickly. Meanwhile, Zampa now.
Overtake here.
Yeah, Dobo on the outside. Womack's going to go to the inside. Side by side is the Red Bull and the Aston. Can Dobo keep it together? Big battling here in the midfield. It may cost them all. Battling this hard as Zampa's going to come through on the inside. Will Zampa try and outbrake all of them? Zampa breaks early to avoid causing any more carnage. Womack's just about gets the turn for the corner, but they may have allowed Kevin to escape here with all this battling. It is not helping. Can Dobo use the pace that he has in the Red Bull to stay with Kevin, or will Kevin disappear off into the distance? As Womack's now on the rear of the Red Bull driver, gonna send it in. Surely Dobo, Dobo forced off the track now as they continue to battle very hard, and all it's doing is allowing the Alpine, who currently leads the championship, to build a monster lead over the rest of the field, as there's already now a 1.7 gap, as Dobo has let through Womax and Zampa. I don't know why he's doing that. I think he wanted the DRS.
Illegal overtake.
Or illegal overtake then. Meanwhile, Zampa make it through the outside of Womax now. Into turn 1 they go. And Zampa looking for the switchback here on the Aston driver, who's defending masterfully despite his damage. Meanwhile, Dubsy's gotten back through again on Dobo. And Dubsy, despite his laps that are double as old as these leaders, is still doing relatively well here. And I think we should make an honourable mention here. Cree picks up a time penalty, but an honourable mention for Scones, who said he'd been nowhere in this race, and he currently sits comfortably in P8 in this train. That is the lead pack. Meanwhile, Coldzilla and Cree battling. Coldzilla looking for a switchback on the Haas driver. And Coldzilla, things are not going as planned here in this race. And Coldzilla and Michael Louis, who are P2 and 3 in this championship respectively, things have not been going at all as planned. Meanwhile, Zampa, does he have the DRS on Womax? He does, just about. That'll help him stay with the Aston. Meanwhile, Dobo on the inside of Dub Z. We've got Ty Clear on the inside of Cthulhu as well here. Side by side they go. Ty Clear trying to find a way through on Cthulhu. Arn picks up another time penalty. And here in Mexico, we're famous for picking up time penalties. But surely Dobo or Dub Z is going to pit somewhat soon. As Caldzilla and Cree battle into turn 1 again. Cree got damage on the front. Right end plate contact with Caldzilla through turn 1 and 2. Meanwhile, the V-Carbs swap positions here. With Beecham getting through on vintage control. And Kevin Cal has the lead here. But Womack's doing pretty impressively to stay not too far behind him with that damage. Meanwhile, Zampa. Oh, and he sees the Aston make a big clunk of the wall out of the final corner. Surely that's going to open the door to Zampa as Dub Z finally into the pit lane. And Zampa going to get straight through on the Aston with the DRS. And can Zampa start to catch Kevin Cal here? Who leads us?
Clear. Just overtaking the Aston Martin turn 1. Sorry to interrupt. I think it was just a battery and ERS move as Cthulhu is right on the gearbox of the Ferrari. Maybe looking around the outside of turn 4 to make our way into turn 4. Cthulhu thinking just to sit behind and let Ty Clear do all the catching up as he will try to regain. Is that damage?
Yeah,
on the Ferrari.
Ty's got damage on the front right, and there's more
Cthulhu just
damage.
picked up damage.
Yeah, damage for Cthulhu, the front left end plate. He ran to the rear of Ty Clear, probably not aware of Ty's damage, and he picks up a time penalty here. Meanwhile, Scollins picks up a time penalty for track limits, but even with his time penalty, Scollins doing relatively okay here.
Zampa might have some DRS if he can just gain enough. He went a tad deep in the first corner of the stadium.
Oh no! And I was bigging up Scollins, and he's into the barrier. And Scollins,
the whole runoff.
Oh, he probably missed his breaking point massively there, and he's now down to P9. Scollins was having such a good race there, and now he drops all the way down. Meanwhile, Womack and Zampa are going to battle for position here. And if Zampa's smart, he'll just let Womack through, because Womack does have DRS, and they can work together here to get back inside the DRS of Kevin. But I'm sure Dobo is going to be the biggest beneficiary out of this battling, because Dobo doesn't have any pains here. But I'm sure a lot of the drivers here are wanting a safety car because of the damage they still have in their cars. Dub Z now in P10. Gotta keep an eye on him. He's the driver on the reverse strategy. Only driver to kind of successfully do the hard medium. Meanwhile, Stephen Beecham, it's going to be a bit of a stretch for him to do the hard medium. He's going to be really nursing those tyres to the end. Meanwhile, Dub Z is going to have good pace on these mediums towards the end of the race. But Zampa all over the rear of Womack, and Womack has lost major time to Owen. Zampa goes very deep. May have to let through Womack here as side by side they go. Dobo on the rear of this battle as they both battle through the stadium section. And look how much time they've lost to Kevin in one lap. They were almost within DRS of Kevin. Now they're 4 seconds back. The battling from Zampa and Womack has been too much. Dobo going to go through the inside. Side by side they go. Wheel banging between Zampa and Womack now. And into turn 1 they go. Dobo might get around the outside of the Aston. He does beautifully. But absolute carnage here. Womack picks up another time penalty in this battle. Meanwhile, Womack's going to give up a position now to Ty and Cthulhu. I wonder why Womack is just bailed out now. I wonder, does he want to just let through his teammate and try and work with him and maybe go in and fix his damage, potentially. Meanwhile, Cree and Caldzilla battle again now. Cree in the Haas trying to defend from the McLaren. And Cree frustrates Caldzilla for yet another lap. Sure, Caldzilla wants a safety car because Caldzilla's hards are going to struggle to get to the end here. And anything to help him recover from that chaos that was under the second safety car. Meanwhile, Zampa's dropped Dobo, but Dobo, does he have the pace to catch Zampa? He looks comfortably out of DRS now of Zampa's tie clear now. Flies by the Red Bull as the Red Bull maybe swamped here onto the straight with two Aston Martins on the inside now. Cthulhu having a look on the inside, but both Aston Martins with front wing damage may halt their pursuit as Dobo's trying everything to stay ahead of the Astons. They're all over the rear. There's another yellow flag out. I think that's for Stephen Beecham, who has made a mistake in the stadium sector, or stadium section, as Womax all over the rear of Cthulhu, the lanky one now. Meanwhile, Codzilla again ahead of Creek around the outside of Codzilla. Codzilla does everything he can to defend. And Creek hops the curb, trying to do a switchback on the McLaren driver. But I'm sure Codzilla is very frustrated here. Meanwhile, we've got the other McLaren of Dubsy, who's now in the rear of Scones, who's just about in DRS range from Jimmy Dwyer, but he may have a McLaren of Dubsy, who is yet to get a time penalty in this race. Is on the medium tyres, but is going to have to do something magical to catch 14 seconds to the drivers ahead of Jimmy Dwyer and Scones as Vintage Control picks up another time penalty. Meanwhile, Dobo all over the rear of Ty. Can Dubsy get any closer to this battle? As Creek yet again overtakes Codzilla. I'm sure frustrating him again. But can Dub use these mediums as we see Scones now on the inside of Jimmy Dwyer? Takes P8, but if we have a look at the penalties now, we've got Cthulhu with 15, Womax with 6, Zampa and Scones with 6, we've got Vintage Control with 16, Stephen Beecham with 13, so a lot of drivers here are going to be losing out because of the penalties as Womax comes together with the lanky one. And that damage is not helping the Aston Martin at all. As Womax goes for the switchback, I wonder did the lanky one get an illegal overtake on the Aston there as Creek picks up another time penalty, moving him to 6 seconds. But now the lanky one on the rear of Womax. Can he get the move? Not close enough yet, it seems, as Dobo looking for a way past Ty Clear. But as it stands, Kevin leads us away. It could be a comfortable win for Kevin. Meanwhile, Zampa sits P2. And Dobo not able to close up. Meanwhile, Jimmy Dwyer going to go for the move on Scones. Dubsy has to eventually go for something here. Has to make use of these fresher mediums. And the opening has come now. Dubsy gets through on Scones with a mistake from Scones out of turn 3. And now Dubsy just has a dispatch of Jimmy Dwyer before he can start using those mediums in the clear air to catch the drivers ahead. Meanwhile, Dobo picks up a time penalty, which in the end may give Ty Clear P2 in this race, as long as he can stay with Zampa, who has a 6-second time penalty ahead of him.
I have just been watching the gap between the top two, and over the last 3 laps, that gap has gone down by 6/10. So Zampa is gaining on Kevin Cow. As we maybe approach lap 34, 35, I think Zampa could be within DRS, and that could then help pull away from the cars behind. At the minute, he won't even be scoring a podium due to Dobbo only having 3 seconds, and like Ty Clear doing well, even with that damage, not to get any track limit penalties as of yet, as Dubsy makes the move on Ty Clear's teammate, Jamie, falling down another place as McLaren improves up to P8.
I wonder, can Dubsy at the very least catch Cthulhu's time penalty with these fresher mediums towards the end, because Cthulhu does have a big 15-second time penalty that Dubsy could conceivably get inside that threshold. Meanwhile, Dubsy may have dropped Ty Clear now. Ty doesn't have... Or, I mean, Dobo... I keep switching up Dobo and Dubsy, I don't know why. But, Ty Clear does not have DRS from Dobo, which may open the door for Cthulhu in behind. As Caldzilla picks up his first time penalty, battling with Cree, which I'm sure is making Caldzilla very annoyed, the fact that he just cannot dispatch of this Haas driver who's been battling with him well. And Zampa now only 2.7 off the lead, but remember he does have 6 seconds of time penalty, so the win for Zampa may not be on. As it stands, Caldzilla retires from the session. We were mentioning how annoyed he was battling with the Haas, and it seems very annoyed as he's come in to retire from the session. Meanwhile, Ty still tries to head after Dobo. Dobo now only 1.5 behind Zampa. Zampa seems to have made a mistake. He's lost half a second. Ty Clear, though, picks up a time penalty, so the battle for P2 is really on now. Zampa needs 1.4 on Dobo to get the P2 here. Meanwhile, Cthulhu in behind is just there for I don't know. He's got 18 seconds of penalties, so Cthulhu's just there for
a good time.
Just there for a Sunday drive. But Cthulhu now still following. Meanwhile, Womomax looks like he's in no man's land. There's a yellow flag out from Arn again. That's a safety car! It's a safety car on lap 28, reminiscent of Spain last week, where there's a safety car on lap 28, and Arn, who broke his front wing, it's missing completely. Another late safety car, and this has spiced things up again. Kevin surely going to be comfortably in P1 after this race ends, unless
it's Dubsy a podium.
Dubsy podium. We're absolutely here for that. If Dubsy gets a podium here, we are going absolutely mental. As the lanky one picks up a 10-second time penalty.
That was stupid. I've seen the whole of that.
What happened?
I don't really know. The Aston lanky one overtook the Aston. The Aston overtook the Sauber. Then I think it was just the game having a mess again. So lanky was going to have to serve that.
Can you clip it?
Now.
I
just have.
Yeah, just so we can see it. But interesting to see who will pit. Kevin definitely coming in. Surely for softs. Zampa coming in for softs. Anyone going to stay out? Ty Clear. Oh, he's cut the pit entry. Surely has to... and it's a 10-second time penalty. Dear. Ty Clear has thrown the podium away. He might not even get this damage fixed. He does get the damage fixed, but with that 10-second speeding in the pit lane penalty, Ty Clear again has thrown away the podium. Meanwhile, what is Dubsy going to do? Dubsy is going to come in. The smart move from Dub. Dub's going to put some softs on here.
Womomax stays out.
Womomax with damage. I don't know what he's doing. He should have fixed this.
I love it.
He should have fixed this damage so long ago. He's just there being an absolute terror to everyone else. I'm sure Zampa's like, oh my god, I have to deal with this guy again. So
Scone stayed out as well.
Scones into P5. We're so here for it. We are absolutely here for it.
We are going to have brand new mediums and softs against 20 lap old hards. Jesus.
I'm sure Scones is probably going to be absolutely swallowed up, but we're going to root for him regardless. Meanwhile...
So was Wum.
Yeah, Wum is going to be absolutely swallowed under this restart. Kevin's picked the mediums, and you have to remember that Womax has caused one or two incidents this race, and you never know what could happen.
Have a collision.
You never know what could happen into turn one with Kevin there. The door could open for a Zampa win, a Dobo win, a Scones win. Who knows? Kevin is gonna be absolutely making his seat turn brown with the prospect of that Aston behind him into turn one. As Jamie picks up a time penalty under the safety car, that's not what you want to do. But surely everyone has to come in for softs. Everyone in the back 5, please come in for softs. Pretty please.
I think they'll. I think the 2 at the back, they'll continue again, so then they can just keep saving the tyre wear. Because tyre wear around here is crucial.
I think Scones is coming in. No, Ty's coming in.
Instead of 10.
You know what? That's a smart move. Ty to serve the 10 penalty. He'll gain time. He'll gain time doing that, but unfortunately, he will lose a lot of positions. But
Steve has spun.
Oh no, Steve! And he's got front wing damage as well. Please don't get disqualified, Steve. You're blocking the pit lane entry. Surely Steve's got to get a new front wing put on that car. Please tell me you've turned it on. And he's got a 10-second spinning in the pit lane penalty again.
How? Oh my god. He was going so slow into the pits.
It was going relatively slowly. He's also not going to get a new front wing by the looks of things. They're not waiting with a front wing.
The safety car should stay out another lap because there's no way they're all going to catch up in time. Never mind.
Yeah, Stephen retired. He would have still got points if he finished the race, but I can't really blame him there. Just an absolute calamity. But... Oh, what did I see there? Sampa! Sampa's spun! No! Sampa, what are you doing, man?
He's on his own.
Oh, he's done it again! He's done it again! Sampa spins under the safety car, and I can't...
Has he done this before?
Yeah, he's done it a lot. He's done it a lot. Oh, Zampa. Zampa, who was within a chance of winning here, if stuff fell his way. Now, there's kind of no real chance. Zampa, if you're in the chat listening, let Dub Z through under the restart. Dub has a chance here at getting big points. We want to see it. We want to see brother Dub get some big points here. If Dub wins, I think I might do some things that may get us banned here, but it'll be worth.
I'm in the pits now. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Surprise Aaron stays out.
Sci-Fi Mega Hype and Orange stay out. Probably not the right move, if I'm honest. Vintage Control's going to come in, which I do think is the right move, although...
Vintage is a lap down.
Yeah, I do think he is a lap down, if we look at his gap to the leader.
Yeah, leader, 1 minute 18 back.
Yeah, so Vintage Control, unfortunately, caught behind the leader. And I wish in this game it allowed you to unlap yourself, but unfortunately...
I think if people let them through when they... If the cars on the lead lap go off the track, then let the lap car through. I think it does actually let the lap car, if they're leading the safety car, to then not overtake it. But... Yeah.
Yeah, but to let you through, you have to go off track, and it's very awkward to do, so I don't really see anyone potentially picking up a warning to let through a car. So...
I'm ready for a chaos restart.
Yeah,
the question is, can Wim keep up? He's going to get the straight line advantage with Slipstream, and he'll obviously have a less weight car due to the end plates.
We should definitely see the safety car in this lap. We'll do a restart under lap 33, and we'll have 4 laps of racing.
2 laps as DRS. No, 3 laps as DRS.
As Kevin, we're going to stay with him as he's going to try and get a good restart here. And you got to remember, Kevin's on the mediums with a lot of drivers behind on the softs, but he does have a buffer of the Aston driver who's on the hard tyres. If I'm Kevin here, I'm waiting to use the traction out of these corners to escape the hard runner. But I think Kevin's probably too close to the safety car to do that. And Ty Clare picks up another 10-second. Ty is having an absolute nightmare in this race.
Here we go.
As he almost comes into contact with Arn again. But Womax now giving it everything. Kevin's trying to escape the Aston Martin as Dobo now closing on the Aston. The lanky one going to get it ahead of Scones comfortably here. Scones got very old tyres. The Zamp almost runs into the rear of Scones as Dub Z picks up a time penalty. No! Oh, we were wanting a big result from Dub, and now it may not be on the cards as Zampa switches to the inside of the Scones here as they go side by side. And Zampa on the soft tyres gets through. Can he recover? Meanwhile, Dobo gets ahead of Womax now. Dobo is on the soft tyres, but he does have time penalty, so even if he does beat Kevin, as Dubs E gets through on Scones here as well. Even if Dobo does beat Kevin on the road, Kevin still might get him because of the time penalty. And Kevin, the only driver here without time penalties, showing the whole field that he's in a class of his own, as Dubs E almost run to the rear of Zampa there, getting very late on the brakes. As Cthulhu,
one warning.
all over the rear of Scones now. As Womax now may lose DRS from Dobo. And the lanky one and Zampa side by side. Zampa may get through now into P4 as Krikri's retired from the session out of the final corner. Krikri into the wall. Don't know what happened there. Meanwhile, Zampa sends it on the inside of the lanky one. Very late send. Contact with Zampa.
Hello there.
And Scones, the lanky one, Zampa, drops all the way down now to P10. Thank you in the chat for the follow. What was his name? UXer or something? Anyway, thank you.
I ain't got the Twitch up.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome into the stream. Normally the notifications come up for me, but they're not coming up for some reason. Anyway, Dubsy heading after the lanky one and Womax. Dubsy does have 3 seconds of time penalties, but can he find a way through on the lanky one? As Womax goes defensive. The Dubsy now on the outside of Womax. There may be carnage into the stadium section, and there is. The lanky one gonna stay ahead. Contact between Dubsy and Womax now. As Cthulhu all over the rear of his teammate. As Tyclair getting ahead of Zampa. As we head...
Dubsy will get the DRS down the main straight.
Yeah,
for a podium.
We head on to the penultimate lap now. Cthulhu in a drag race with his Aston Martin teammate. And Womax gonna keep it ahead of Cthulhu. Meanwhile, Tyclair gonna blow by. Scones may blow by Jimmy Dwyer as well. Tyclair into P7. Lovely move. Scones looking for a switchback on Jimmy Dwyer. Zampa runs into the rear of Jimmy Dwyer now. Zampa gonna get through. Can he get through on Scones as well now? As Cthulhu gets ahead of Womax. Zampa side by side with Scones. Can't get the move. Been absolute carnage here in Mexico. So many battles. Who do we stay with? We don't know. Meanwhile, on the penultimate lap now, can Dubsy get a podium?
In come the DRS games.
Yeah, will we see the lanky one do anything drastic? Or drastic to stay ahead? No, Scones! No! He's out! Scones is out on the penultimate lap. I don't believe it. He's spun on the exit of the S's. Meanwhile, Jimmy Dwyer and Arn battle into the penultimate section of corners. And Jimmy Dwyer had to take to the runoff, but Scones is gone. He still will score points here, but heartbreaking on the penultimate lap now. Meanwhile, Tyclair gets through on Womax. As we're on the final lap now, can Dubsy get through on the lanky one, as the lanky one defending for his life in that Sauber? Does Dub have the pace in the McLaren? He just doesn't look close enough. Can Cthulhu get him as well? Cthulhu may go for a move on Dubsy. Dubsy defends the inside. But he loses the rear massively. Big snap of the rear from Dub. Can he hold it together now? And Dub may now be... Oh, he loses the rear again! The door opens on the inside for Cthulhu, and Dub now may have to settle for P4 at best after big mistakes through the middle sector. But we're going to move back up again to the front, and Kevin, who won in round 1 and round 2, both with penalties this time, he'll win on track, and Kevin, who leads the championship, will extend his gap even further, winning in Mexico ahead of Dobo and the lanky one. The lanky one finishes P3. Dubsy's going to cross the line. Can he jump anyone? Dubsy moves up to P4. Tyclair's going to drop multiple positions now, with Zampa moving up to P7. Womax up to P6. Jimmy to P8. Tyclair drops many positions down to P9 as Sci-Fi Mega Hype crosses the line in P11. Meanwhile, Vintage Control will finish the race in P13 with Scones. Or actually, Scones crashed on the penultimate lap, so now Vintage Control should overtake him, I would say, out of the S's. Yep, there it is. Vintage Control moves up to P12 with that move. No, UX in the chat, the league is not full. I will get you the link now. How do I send the link in again?
Into Twitch.
Disc. I thought I created a command for it. I don't remember what the command is. Let me get the Discord link if I can.
Well, that was an entertaining race.
Yeah, very entertaining race. Kevin finally gets his first win on track, but it is his third win of the season. UXer in the chat. There's the Discord link in the chat. But what a win it was from Kevin. A dominant victory here in round 4 of Tier 2. And to be honest, Kevin is just driving masterfully. He is... he just knows if he keeps it clean, he'll pick up good results here. And a lot of the reason why the drivers behind aren't finishing as close as they are to Kevin is because they're spending too much time battling with each other than they are battling with the driver who leads the championship at the moment. And Kevin, for even more good luck, has picked up the fastest lap as well. As let's look at the race tractor, which there'll be many a warning picked up throughout that race. A very long page of warnings. But Kevin wins here in round 4, extends his lead in the championship ahead of Michael Louis and Codzilla, who had a bit of a nightmare of a race here in Mexico. And unfortunately for them, Kevin will have a commanding lead over the rest of the drivers in this championship. I'll see just
see if I can get interviews.
Yeah, I'll see if I can fix my Discord, because currently my Discord is bugged, so I can't even get it to work now. Maybe if I close Discord. Close. Oh, my Discord is so broken. Yeah, unfortunately we can't do interviews because the stream can't even pick them up because my Discord... I wish I could show you what I'm looking at, but the Discord is just looking at the standings and I can't even get it to close the image. Oh, wait. I figured out how to fix it. There we are. Alright. I'm gonna join Race Party 1. If anyone wants interviews, join Race Party 1. And we'll see if we can get any of the drivers in here. But Ray, what is your review of that race as we wait for the drivers to come in?
Absolute cinema.
Yeah. Very...
I cursed Williams.
Unfortunately, a heartbreaking race for many of the drivers there, and especially Michael Louis, who got disqualified. Some drivers crashed, although some drivers will still score points, like Scollins and Cree crashed, still will score points in that race despite finishing finishing in the wall, basically. But we'll see if anyone wants to join for interviews. But currently as it stands, doesn't seem anyone's joining. But anyway, for those of you watching who do want to join the Discord, the link is in the chat. And I think UXer, did you click the link in the chat? If you're in the chat, there's a link in the Discord that I sent in that should help you over to the Discord, and then we can get you all sorted once you come over. But what a race it was here in Mexico. There's a lot of carnage, a lot of time penalties, but Kevin would win in the end. And for those of you who want to see more carnage, Tier 1 head to Monaco tomorrow night, and I can't imagine more pain than that. I'm sure there's going to be many reports from Mexico in the Tier 2 chat, I'm sure, but there's probably going to be even more from Monaco tomorrow night in Tier 1. But for those of you who did enjoy tonight, make sure to follow to stay tuned for that. Next week, Tier 2 will head to Canada, which is another track I'm going to need to warn the drivers about for bugs. There's a drive-through bug that if you enter the pit lane with a red Delta, it'll just give you a drive-through. So make sure to stay tuned in the chat. And for any driver who gets a drive-through, I'm going to say you just didn't read and blame it on them. Because it's a known glitch at this point.
Isn't that bug in Monaco as well?
Hopefully not, but thank you for letting me know if it is, because then I will make sure to not enter the pit lane with a red Delta.
Damn, I shouldn't have said anything.
But anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm going to find someone to raid on our way out now. I've been WHF Arrow, joined by Rio in the comms box. We're going to raid Scott Taylor on our way out. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for 39 laps around Monaco, isn't it?
38.
38 laps around Monaco.
No, 39.
Yeah, 39.
You're alright.
But anyway, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.